Hello guys, welcome to Major's Garage. This is Suelo Almeida. I'm the crew chief for the Formula 1, Formula 3, Formula 3.5 and also the Dallara IR01. Today we're going to see my lap here at Donington Grand Prix with the Formula 3. So let's go straight to the first corner. So very important thing here is to open up as much as possible, and you have to be aware that where you can put the car actually here is, you see this, the beginning of this blue line. What you can do is actually you can put the middle of the car there. If the, for example, the antenna of the car goes to the left of that, well, the white line that crosses it, you will get a slowdown. So be careful with that. But as you can see, you have actually a lot of room. You don't necessarily need to use it all. You just need to be close enough here so you can prepare for braking here, being very, very, very close to this grass, as close as you can get, and then that will make you, as you can see here, I'm pretty close. This will give you the best line, the best positioning, and the best angle for a good line here in this first corner. Braking pretty quickly to a good amount of pressure, and then almost immediately releasing as I start turning in. So this is not a very hard braking corner. What you want to do is actually slow down a little bit, but immediately start turning and releasing the brakes. And also you want to get a slightly early throttle application here, because there's a long straight right after it. So what you want to do is, as you can see, I'm actually getting back on the throttle even before I touch the apex. I mean, even before I touch the curb. The apex would be around here, but as you can see, I'm already really trying to punch the car forward, to push the car forward, so I can really carry speed all the way through this vast sector here, which is flat out with this car. Then for this next right-hander, very tricky. What you need to do is you really need to prepare the corner way earlier than you think. So as you can see, as soon as the curb starts, I'm already using it completely, so I can really prepare very, very, very fast line here through here. And then just very, very slight brake. As you can see here, I'm braking around 15%, which is almost the trail braking area, and then I'm actually already releasing it quite quickly to around 1 to 5%. So I can really just point the car, and I even coast slightly before I get back on the throttle. You can use a little bit of this grass, and I mean a little bit of this dirt. Just be careful, because if you do it too much, the car bottoms out and you lose a lot of rotation, and that can cause your car to go wide here and you get an off track. So you want to use just a little bit. If you touch the dirt with the inside tire, that was going to be okay, but not more than that. And then also, as you can see here, again, I'm getting back on the throttle even before I touch the curb, but as you can see, it's pretty close to the curb, to the inside. And also, you can get a little bit here. The rule is basically do not put the area of the antenna on the dirt or grass. If you do that, you're not going to have an off track. So as you can see, that's exactly what happened here. I'm basically on the limit of getting off track. Then we will go to this little right-hander that actually is prepared by a very, very slight left-hander that we do flat out. So it's be very careful with this, because what you need to do around here is just prepare the next corner. So as you can see, I want to be parallel to this line after the curb. That's gonna be basically the beginning of my braking zone. I brake pretty quickly, but then immediately, as you can see, I'm already transitioning from braking to turning. I want to carry a lot of speed. My apex will be around here. This is where I really want to put my car. So many people actually think that the apex is around this damaged area here. So, but as you can see, I am not using that one. I'm using this one as an apex. And I'm actually opening up So I can be closing and closing and closing and closing and closing. Here I am really at the minimum speed and minimum, and the closest to the grass and to the curb here. Then of course you have to find a very comfortable spot to get back on the throttle and rotate the car aggressively with the throttle, not wanting to lift. As you can see, I'm barely lifting here because I was just hesitating a little bit not to get on off track. I lifted from 100 to 80%, but then I immediately got back to 100%. And again here you will get on off track. This is a little bit complicated, so it's the same thing basically. Well, yeah, it's not complicated. All you need to do is to not put the antenna over to the dirt here. So as you can see, my antenna is basically on the edge of the curb. Then for this next not slightly, actually blind corner, I want to brake as soon as as you can see, as soon as this arrow here becomes clear. This is the easiest visual reference to know where the curb is going to be. So you have to kind of try some laps to keep looking at this sign and at the same time kind of calculating where the curb will be after you see the sign very clearly. So it could be a very good reference. My goal here is to barely touch the dirt with the inside tire. I did not touch it, but if you barely touch it, you're gonna get away with a very good rotation. So as you can see, I'm braking, but immediately as I start turning, I have to really release the brakes. Not immediately, but progressively, but early, because there is a kind of a change in elevation here. The car falls a little bit, it gets a little bit light on this turn in, and it's very important that you actually slow down the car before, and then as you start turning, you will feel this lack of mechanical grip here. So it's very important that you are aware that the track is giving you less grip than you expect here. Then, as soon as you hit the curb here, try to really aggressively punch the throttle all the way to 100% so you can generate a good amount of rotation here. And then we go to the chicane. I'm braking somewhere in between the first and the second signs here. Probably a little bit closer to the second one. But be very careful. You have to brake pretty hard here. As you can see, I'm braking pretty aggressively, downshifting to fourth and turning in. My goal here is to put the antenna right besides. Actually, it's the same thing as always. I want to put my antenna at the edge of the curb. If you put the antenna on the inside of the curb, you will get on off track. So let me show you something here. So on the change of direction, look at my antenna. I'm about to not get on off track, but then I oversteer slightly, and this is what happens. So at this point, as you can see, I'm probably half a tire or one tire to the inside of the grass, and this actually gave me an off track. But this is very close to not getting it. So that's really what you want to look for. Don't worry about like crossing this with your tires, with your inside tire. You actually want to cross both. You want to cross this one and this one, but this one I did cross too much with the middle of the car. So this I actually recorded this lap because it was a solid lap, and it was a good example of how much you can take and how much you cannot take here in terms of off track. So for this first hairpin, I always use this little change here in the curb. There's a little bump in the curb. This is exactly my braking reference. So as soon as I get very close to it, around here, as you can see, I'm starting to brake already. My maximum pressure will be probably 1 car before this little bump. And then I have to really wait the car to stop. Wait. As you can see, I'm really braking in a straight line. I start turning quite late. First gear, be careful not to downshift too quickly because you can actually lock up the tires and cause a spin. So as you can see, very, very progressive turn in since the entry, but a very late turn in. Then I short shift to seconds so I can control the throttle a little bit more. even so I got a little bit of oversteer there. And then for the next corner, again a blind one. I'm using the end of this entry curb here as a reference. I'm braking around 2 cars before the end of the curb. So as you can see here at this point, I'm already braking. And yeah, so now after the braking zone here, you will see that actually the track falls a lot. So you have to be careful not to open up too much, because then you will try to turn with the car being very, very light. So be careful not to turn too wide, not to be too wide before turning. As you can see, I'm turning quite early, and if we see it from up, it really feels like I'm not using the entire track to prepare, but that's exactly because the track is falling. There's no mechanical grip here, so it's not worth to open up that much. So coming back a little bit here, you will see that I do brake around here, but then I do not open up. I already tried to turn early. I want to go for a late apex here and then try to carry as much speed as possible on this exit, because it will affect both the end of the lap and the beginning of the next one. So it's very important to have a good exit here. And yeah, this was a 1:26.48. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next week. Bye bye.